and Chibiana Speaker Bagbin suspended 3 NPP MPs and 1 NDC MPI Roxanne Nelson Dafia Mekpo, yeah, or suspending womb. Na entra and Afenyo marking the memo be better abontin say a choir speaker fast so suspended 3 NPP MPs no and ya kwan pasunti or no Afenyo marking or she speaker say on withdraw that decision or the bar say was suspended 3 NPP MPs no. Na in a surprise move no a year Class FM a year former NDC MPI friend Inusah Fuseini and a mobile sense saying Afenyo marking as a speaker suspension is not in the right direction. One fakwan person suspended that 3 NPP MPs no na Afenyo marking memo the above bontini so or she speaker and withdraw that decision na odwene ho saying Inusah Fuseini our former NDC MP or Tamale, I think Tamale Central or say Afenyo marking asema wakano nukure na speaker amfa kwan paso and speaker follow the due process and what suspended the 3 MPP MPs no or support Afenyo marking me say obi amre no mumi ankoti ensema Inusah Fuseini edituja ya former MP NDC MP ewa abra Class FM a friend
the 4 MPs
on the face of it, yes.
Okay.
Because the decision in any democratic setting can only be justified if that decision is taken in accordance with the commonly accepted procedure for taking that decision. And the standing orders of Parliament makes provisions for situations as occurred on the 30th of January. Failure to follow the process provided by the standing order makes that decision unjustifiable and cannot be defended. And that is why probably Afenyo marking is raising these issues.
If the speaker violates, how then can the speaker just violate the standing orders? I mean, from his experience as a long-serving member of parliament, lawyer, and step aside all these procedures and just decide to breach it?
I think that was the gravity of the misconduct committed by the members of parliament. I mean, it shocked the speaker to the marrow, and he thought something ought to be done. And the minority leader, Afenyo marking, copiously refers to the timeous decision taken by the speaker to restore discipline and respect for the institution of parliament. So I think that he was moved by the extent and gravity of the disorderly conduct exhibited by members of parliament at the appointments committee.
Is there a remedial action? The minority leader says that suspension should be immediately reversed and then the right procedure should be followed.
So, Valentina, I thought that this is a matter that should have been approached in a different way. Now, you've written a memo. The memo is now in the public and we are discussing it. Now, I thought, and this morning I said so on other networks, I thought that the majority leader, the minority leader would have sought a meeting with Mr. Speaker to draw his attention to what in my view are the lapses in the ruling that he gave on the 31st of January 2025.
Okay, so now that is established, the minority leader is also talking about the fact that this 7-member committee, ad hoc committee set up by the speaker, should be immediately dissolved because the standing orders and the constitution directs that the Committee on Privileges and Immunities are the ones that are supposed to deal with this matter. So the Bagbin committee, as it stands now, has no locus to delve into this case. That's the speaker has given them 10 days to report back to the House.
So if we proceed with the Bejires Committee and a Committee on Privileges and Immunities is established, will they go over the matter if the conduct of the members of Parliament are referred to it? If yes, then the committee established by Mr. Speaker, the ad hoc committee established by Mr. Speaker, to all intents and purposes, will be a useless committee, because that will be a duplication of effort. That's why I have said that in a situation like this, it is better to hasten the formation of the committees, the standing orders and select committees of Parliament, so that they can start work immediately. If the committee were already established, the conduct of the rogue MPs, if I may describe them as such, would have been referred to the Privileges Committee. And as we speak, they would have been carrying on their investigations and meetings with the members whose conduct has been referred to them. Now, because there is no Privileges Committee, you see that he's gone further to raise issues about the rules, non-compliance with the rules of natural justice. A person not being a judge in his own cause, and also hearing the other party before you deal with issues concerning him. So, because there's no committee of privileges, if there were a committee of privileges, those members would have been mandated to appear before the committee, and no one would have raised issues of natural justice.
Again, one will say that the Speaker has all the powers, and before somebody is heard, there should be an action taken, because most of the time, even in our daily lives, when something happens, the first thing, especially in schools, the first thing is that the persons are suspended pending investigations by either the police or a committee that is set up. One will say that is the process the Speaker decided to use. Suspend these 4 MPs, the whips, because they're supposed to know better, and whip their members in line, they failed. And then maybe the other 2 for the physical assaults based on the videos that have gone on, so that the committee will properly go into the merits of the case and come out with recommendations. Is that wrong?
Well, Valentina, the only thing which is wrong with your analysis is that Mr. Speaker is not the headmaster of a school called Parliament. And so he cannot appropriate to himself the laws that regulate his conduct. And there are laws. I mean, the rule of law is in the rule of law, or in discussions of the rule of law, the substantive law is as important as the procedural law. That is to say, if there's a law that gives a person the power to do something, and that same law shows the procedure that that person who has been given the power will have to use to arrive or to exercise his power, then that person who's been given that power has a duty not only to comply with the law, but also comply with the procedure.
So let's listen to the Speaker, the reason he's alluding for the suspension or giving out that punishment to these 4 MPs, and we'll come back to the discussion.
Cause within the committee room and parliamentary presence as a result of the misconduct of the members. Not a single pesewa of public funds shall be used to repair or replace any damaged property. Instead, members found responsible shall be surcharged for the full cost of repairs and replacement, with deductions from their emoluments, including the salaries of members if necessary. 3, in pursuance of the provisions of the Constitution 1992 and the standing orders of Parliament, I further direct the Clerk to Parliament to formally lodge a complaint with the Ghana Police Service to conduct a full criminal investigation into the matter for appropriate action. To reconsider a revision of the rules for the assessment of nominees for the consideration and approval by the House. If there is any defect of our rules, we will rectify them. The scene that we have all witnessed is unpalatable. 5, I draw the attention of members to the sanctions provided for in the Parliament Act and the Standing Orders of Parliament in the event of a breach of privilege or contempt of Parliament under Orders 34(2) and 36. Members may also see Article 123 of the Constitution 1992. Let there be no doubt, Parliament's credibility has been seriously undermined, and urgent punitive action has to be taken, since this was done contemptuous parliamenti in facio parlamenti. Consequently,
Honorable, so you heard the speaker.
Contemptuous parliamenti in facio parlamenti. Contempt of Parliament in the face of Parliament. That's the meaning.
And then he spoke about certain orders, Order 34(2), 36, Article 123. So he says that immediate punitive action must be taken. So something should be done immediately before you go into the investigation, whilst the police would also be required to do that criminal part. As he said, he's directed the Clerk of Parliament to go and lodge a criminal case, and then the police will take that one. Parliament should take an action, immediate action, and that's what he did.
Yes, so at the time I listened to Speaker Bagbin, in particular, read out his ruling on the 30th of January, I find the words jumping at me. And you can see the anger. You could see the annoyance. You could see the deprecation of the conduct of the members of Parliament. They jump at you. You can't ignore or fail to notice that he was livid when he was reading his rulings. But that having been said, that still does not justify the breach of procedure to arrive at the decision.
Honorable, so now the solution is for Speaker to meet the minority leader and the majority leader to find a way or allow the committee to complete their work in the 10 days.
In my view, Parliament should move swiftly to establish the committees, the standing committees of Parliament and the select committees of Parliament, and refer appropriately the conduct of these members of Parliament to the privileges committee. The sanctions under the standing orders, the Constitution, and Parliamentary Act on contempt of Parliament can be done. A member of Parliament can be expelled from Parliament. But the fact is that in the standing orders, both at committee level and at the privileges committee, there is the notion of peer review. The recalcitrant member of Parliament or the offending member of Parliament is peer reviewed by his colleagues. It is not the speaker.
Okay, unfortunately, we've lost the former member of Parliament for Tamale Central and the private legal practitioner Alhaji Inusah Fuseini.